Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first of a brand new series. This is Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. That's the name of the game, but it's not 2016 that we're playing in. WWE Landscape of 2007 is where we find ourselves, and this really has the makings of something really good if I can continue this, because this is something that I do enjoy doing. I'm hoping that these videos after this one will be a small size, half an hour chunks where we just show the results and not necessarily the particular booking. If you guys want to see a long version, do let me know in the chat. Let me know with likes as well. It's probably the best way to do it. But yeah, I'm hoping these will be shorter battles. We do start in 2007, the first week of 2007, January it is. For this first episode, really, basically what we're going to do is completely change the rosters up. We're going to do a WWE draft. That's right. We're going to set up our first rosters. I did think about doing exactly as it was, and in terms of the champions, that will probably stay the same for the majority of them. John Cena's the WWE champion. Batista's the World Heavyweight champion on SmackDown. Bobby Lashley is the ECW champion, and that's something I want to keep for a while. IC title, I believe it's on Jeff Hardy. But we'll have a look at that. US title, I think it may be on MVP or Chris Benoit. Note on Chris Benoit, yes, he will be a character in this. I haven't scheduled in his death and double homicide, which happens in 2007. I'm going to use him as a character. If you guys don't like that, I do apologise, but I think people need to realise the difference between Chris Benoit as a man and Chris Benoit as a wrestling character, which as a wrestler, I mean, some of the matches and some of the moments that he created were incredible. So, you know, I can see both sides. Anyway, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do a draft. I don't think this video is really going to be edited. This is going to be more of just a playthrough for the first one, but the rest obviously will be edited. So, I mean, if we just take a look at the roster before we start, I've got to tell you, for some reason, I've got half images in, and then you get about so far and it just disappears. And that's because when I started putting the images in, I did them all, saved it, and it didn't save. So I've done a bit of half. I'll finish it off for the next one. So, for example, like John Cena doesn't really have a photo. Let's change that. He should probably have a photo of John Cena, shouldn't he? We haven't got a 2007 one because that's good. Which one's close enough? It's difficult. Probably that one. We'll give it that one. So John Cena probably should have a photo. The rest won't for now, but we will change that for the next time. But if anyone doesn't know, TW is a wrestling booking game. It should be very fun. I don't know it too great. I mean, these are contracts. Armando Alejandro Estrada needs a contract. Negotiation. Oh, this is negotiation. Right, okay. He's got 2 months left on it. Triple H has got 2 months left on it, which is bizarre. But yeah, so obviously I will change a lot, and we will start booking. In terms of TV shows, what do we have? That's not helping me. That's broadcasting deals. I don't particularly know too much about it. So we've got Heat, Raw, ECW, and SmackDown. So Heat, ECW is an A show on this. That's interesting. That is interesting. The graveyard shot on Sky Sports in the late evening slot on Sci-Fi Channel. Can we change that? We could probably look at changing that. Interestingly, we're below broadcast quality, so I think we should change that. Let's upgrade that straight away. Industry standard. We'll keep it a DVD because there was no WWE Network at the time, if you remember. Lots of these people got gimmick issues, which is an issue which we'll have to change. But what we will do, if we have a quick look at the champions, we'll be able to really look at what's going to happen. So ECW champion at the moment apparently is Vince McMahon. Why? Let's change that right now. Replace that. So obviously this is, for some reason, the roster from like June 2007. We're starting in January, so we're going to change a couple of things. Bobby Lashley will be champion of ECW. Job done. Cruiserweight, Chavo Guerrero, we can make do with it. John Cena's WWE champion on Raw. Reign began in September 2006, and that's what I wanted, a long run. That's what the plan is at the moment. Intercontinental champion is Santino. I think we changed that and put it on Jeff Hardy. I think is the right move. Jeff Hardy is a good Intercontinental Champion at the moment. Tag team is Deuce and Domino, which is interesting. I'd rather it be on Paul London and Brian Kendrick, to be honest. We can look at changing that, I think, 'cause that's not too bad. US title is MVP, which is good. I kind of like that on him. I'm not going to change that, but I would quite be interested in doing the Chris Benoit feud that they did in real life. Women's champion is Melina, which is interesting. We can look at changing that. World heavyweight champion is Edge, and we're going to have to change that. As I say, this is from June, so I understand why Edge is the world champion, and we will look at bringing him up, but at the moment Batista should be the champion going into WrestleMania, and the Hardys are world tag team champions. Now, in terms of the tag team titles, I've got to be honest, I'm looking at joining them up. Undisputed tag team champions, or WWE tag team champions, on both brands, and the champions can go on all three brands really, and then it gets ECW involved as well. I like that the US titles on SmackDown, the Intercontinental title on Raw as B titles. Obviously you got your WWE World Heavyweight, and I'm thinking maybe we could move the Cruiserweights onto ECW and have that as a secondary title, or you can get rid of the Cruiserweights and bring in the TV title. That's something we'll look at down the line. I think first of all what we need to do is draft the shows. It'll be a semi-draft, it won't be a full draft, because I think we are gonna look at really words are coming out. We're going to look at the best things for them. So for example, if Batista's on ECW, that's not going to work for us. I am looking to make ECW better. That's a big part of this project, but Bobby Lashley is the face of ECW at the moment. Works for me, I think, especially if you do look at the roster. And I mean, if we look at who they've got in the main event ideally on this roster, and we're going to change this, but the main eventers: Batista, Benoit, not for me. Upper mid carder maybe. Edge can be eventually, maybe not just yet. Maybe Benoit will be mid. Edge is probably. I mean, if you look at his popularity, 88. That's fabulous. He's better than Batista. Batista's got an 80 rating. That's something we're going to have to build up big time. Johnson, Hardcore Holly in the main event. I don't care if it's on the ECW band. He's a mid carder. He'll stay as a mid carder. What's his popularity? 69, get lost. John Cena, 90 popularity. The man, really, I think that's going to take on this. Kane, again, I don't see him. We'll put him as an upper mid-carder at best, I think. And we'll change Benoit while we're here. We'll just make a little bit of changes, but we will properly change this as we go through the roster. That's what this whole video is going to be. Basically sorting out the roster. Kane, as I say, up in mid-carder. Randy Orton. Now, 2007 was the real rise of Randy Orton, but at 77, probably not a main eventer just yet. Rey Mysterio, again, not a main eventer for me. Ric Flair, 90. Yes, he's old. He's probably into his last year, but I think you have to use him as a main eventer. Not going to be champion, but use his popularity for that. Rob Van Dam, ECW, gonna be good for ECW. 75, we can build him up big time as well. Got the skills. Big Show, 70, not a main eventer. Great Khali can do one. I really don't want to use him. One man I do want to use big time is this man, Umaga. I really think Umaga would be something special. 70s at the moment, but if we can build him into something, he could be a great big heel for us. Of course, he did have that feud at the start of 2007 with John Cena. We may end up doing that. We'll just have to see how the brand split goes. We will put John Cena as the figurehead right now. It's not going to be Batista. It will be John Cena. I think he's very good at this, so we'll do that. In terms of development, this is FCW or OVW, sorry, apparently. And we have some people in there. Ace Steel, I don't particularly know too well of. Beth Phoenix, we know of. Cody Rhodes, Colt Cabana. Dr. Thomas is Tommaso Ciampa, by the way. That's mad. And his stats ain't that bad for his age. It's just, look at that. Yeah, definitely not ready yet. Festus, which is Luke Gallows, of course. Jacob Duncan, I'm not aware of Jacob Duncan. Jake Hager, I believe, is Jack Swagger. Jay Bradley, I'm not aware of him. Johnny Jata rings a bell in my head, I'm not sure why. He's got popularity as well, so he may have been used. Cassidy James, again, rings a bell to me, I'm not really sure why. KC James as well. Matt Capatelli, I believe Is Evan born? But that could be wrong. It says retired wrestler at 27. This needs changing. A lot of this does. Mike Raw, I'm guessing, might be Mike Knox. Mike Mundo. Yeah, not really aware of. Nikki's Dolph Ziggler. We know that much. Sean Spears. I believe he's Ty Dillinger. That could be wrong. Steve Williams. Is that Dr. Death Steve Williams in OVW? He's the trainer, I guess. Vladimir Kozlov, we know. Vic Delicious. Is Vic Delicious Jinder Mahal? He may be. Look, I'm getting ahead of myself. So in terms of the storylines, we need to scrap all these because none of this will be happening anymore. Yeah, these are what they were in June. Look, Edge, Batista and Taker, Cena and Great Khali, Kane and Mark Henry on ECW. All that needs changing. Randy Orton, Rob Van Dam. So that's post-Mania sort of stuff, really, after Edge had just cashed in. Got no storylines running at the moment. That will change. Let's do it. Brand split then. Currently the 3 brands. I want a complete draft, I think that's what we do. Complete draft for everyone in the company. It may be a long one, but we'll try and do it quickly as much as we can. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. First draft pick is The Rock. The Rock's not going to be part of this, so don't worry about The Rock. Edge is on Raw. Now that's an interesting first pick. Okay. Edge on Raw. We can make that work. Shawn Michaels is going to SmackDown. That's interesting. Shawn Michaels has never been on SmackDown. I mean, he had a couple of appearances when he first started, and he's had a couple of appearances here and there, but he's never been a SmackDown superstar. That's exciting. I'm happy with that. Batista stays on SmackDown. I would have kept him on SmackDown no matter what. World champion makes absolute sense. Batista on SmackDown. Ric Flair to ECW. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to go with that. I might change that. I like Ric Flair on Raw for his final year. I think we will keep that on Raw. I think Shane McMahon has been drafted to Raw. I don't think we'll use Shane that much. The Undertaker has been drafted to Monday Night Raw. Now, I like that because that does open up the possibility for The Undertaker versus John Cena down the line. That's interesting. I like that. Randy Orton to SmackDown. Okay, I'm alright with that. Not too bad. John Cena stays on Raw, which is how I would have done it. Good. Umaga to ECW. I like that because, of course, it was Bobby Lashley versus Umaga at WrestleMania in the billionaire match. But we could do that for the ECW title rather than involving... Yeah, that's not happening. Triple H to ECW. Triple H, I think he's probably better off on Raw for now. But if you do him on SmackDown, you've got the idea of DX. We'll have to have a look at that and see how it looks. King Booker to ECW. I think you've got to keep Booker on SmackDown. He did move to Raw though, didn't he? Mick Foley to SmackDown. I don't think he's even a wrestler at this point. Big Show to ECW. I like that. Chris Benoit stays on SmackDown. That's good. William Regal to ECW. I don't know. I might have him on Raw. We'll have to see. Rob Van Dam to SmackDown. I do like Van Dam on ECW. Great Khali to ECW probably fits him. Ray to SmackDown makes sense. Mr. Kennedy to Monday Night Raw. Now, Kennedy's someone I really want to give a big push to. Lawler's going to be staying on Raw. Finlay to ECW. I'm not opposed to it. CM Punk to SmackDown. Now, I kind of like the idea of Punk on ECW at this point in his career to really build him up on ECW. So I might end up changing that. Vince can whatever. Hardcore Holly to Raw is an interesting one as a mid-carder. It's not too bad. Gregory Helms to SmackDown. He is going to be in the Cruiserweight division, so it depends what happens with that. Kane to SmackDown. Charlie Haas to Raw. Jeff Hardy to SmackDown. The Intercontinental title. I'm going to keep him on Raw. He has to stay on Raw, I'm afraid. Paul Heyman to ECW. Absolutely makes sense. Dusty Rhodes to ECW. Okay. Carlito stays on Raw. Roddy Piper to Raw. Chris Masters to ECW. I might change him back to Raw, to be fair. Arn Anderson to SmackDown. Interesting. Mark Henry to Raw. Not too bad. Although long-term ECW or SmackDown might be a better fit for him. These are all backroom people. Bobby Lashley stays on ECW. Makes absolute sense. Al Snow to SmackDown. I think he's backroom now. Tori Wilson to SmackDown. Of course, the Divas will be... The Divas. The women... It's not Divas at this point, I don't think. The women's title, the champion will go to both brands. Chavo on ECW. Interesting. Matt Hardy to ECW have picked up some big boys at this point. Eric Bischoff to SmackDown. Kendrick to SmackDown, good. JBL as the commentator on SmackDown is great. Malenko, backroom staff for a lot of these. Bruce Pritchard as well. Steve Austin won't be included. Daivari now on SmackDown. Interesting. Jim Ross to ECW. That's not happening. MVP stays on SmackDown. Sergeant Slaughter doesn't matter. Elijah Burke stays on ECW. Okay, I'm alright with that. I can deal with that. Lance Cade to SmackDown. I kind of like him on Raw with the Trevor Murdoch team. We'll have to have a look. Val Venus to Raw. Steve Lombardi. I'm not aware of who that is, to be honest. Sabu needs to stay on ECW, so that's going to be changed. Mike Knox to Raw. Okay. Santino to Raw. Yep. Dave Taylor stays on SmackDown. Dave Taylor really needs to be weaned out at this point. He's a tag team with Regal, but I kind of like Regal as a singles heel. Joey Styles to ECW makes absolute sense. Barry Windham. Tommy Dreamer will move back to ECW. Rene Dupree to ECW is interesting. Paul London needs to go to SmackDown with Brian Kendrick. Snitsky to Raw is fine. Taz needs to be on ECW with a commentator, really. Steph, whatever. Mickey James to Raw, absolutely. Victoria to Raw, I'm getting bored already. All the big people have been changed, haven't they? Apart from... No, all the big people have been changed. So let's do the entire draft now. I don't want to see the visual pics. That's done. Right, let's really have a look at now this roster. And first of all, we are going to start with the main eventers of Monday Night Raw. Anybody there shouldn't be there. Now, Edge and John Cena absolutely is fine. Main eventers of SmackDown, we need a couple more to Raw. Batista, Orton, Ray, and Van Dam. Van Dam for me needs to be on ECW. I think it's just his better fit, isn't it? He is ECW, let's be honest. It makes sense. If we're going to really give it a go on that brand, he has to be ECW. Now, I think ECW is going to have to change a few. For me, you got Booker needs to go to... I think we'll put Booker on Raw, actually. I think Booker might do well as an upper mid-carder on Monday Night Raw. So if we do that... Ric Flair, again, has to be on Monday Night Raw for me. And he will stay as a main event star, I think is fine. Van Dam, right, is he going to be main event or upper mid-card? He's at 75. Is he main event level just yet? I don't think he is, so we're going to bump that down to upper mid-card, actually. What's it say, recommend push? They recommend him as a main eventer. I'll keep him as upper mid-card for now. The Big Show on ECW as a main eventer. What's his popularity? He's at 70. He's definitely an upper mid-carder, that's for sure. The Great Khali on ECW as a mid-carder for me. At best, I don't know if I want to use him. I don't rate him at all. It was just the death nail for a lot of the main event positions. And Umaga as a main eventer on ECW, not quite just yet, but I am thinking that's a good place to go. Where's Bobby? Where's Bobby Lashley? We're going to have to change that. But if we go to the upper mid card now, back to Monday Night Raw, it should look a little bit... should we just check the main events position actually first? Edge, Cena, and Ric Flair. I thought Undertaker went to Raw. Is there anybody that's not yet assigned, maybe? Okay, there he is, Undertaker. Will be a main eventer on Monday Night Raw. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be? Main eventer for Raw. There we go. That's going to look a bit better now for Raw. You got your 4. I think you need a 4 for each sort of brand. ECW maybe a little bit more. There's just whistling outside. I'm just going to set the dog off. I think ECW is going to be a bit more of a 3 maybe, with upper mid-carders needing to be pushed up, but that's the point. So Taker, Flair, Cena and Edge. 2 veterans and 2 now sort of people. I like that. So for WrestleMania, we'll talk about it in a little while in terms of the card, because we are the first week of January. You've got the Royal Rumble, but you've got to be looking to WrestleMania. And for the main event, you can do John Cena versus Edge maybe, or John Cena versus The Undertaker. I kind of want to give The Undertaker more of a long build to Cena, maybe. I have got a plan for The Undertaker. it does involve a heel turn, and I do kind of want to bring back the Ministry of Darkness in 2007. I think it's something that could be really, really cool. But is that something we look at? Maybe SummerSlam? Cena versus Taker turning heel? I don't know, we'll look at it. But for the main event for Raw, that's all right. I'm pretty happy. SmackDown's main event then, now looking at Batista, Orton and Mysterio, which kind of says to me, oh, you got Shawn Michaels. Where's Shawn? Where's Shawn Michaels? Don't tell me he's an upper mid-carder. That can't be right. I've lost Shawn Michaels. Let's just put it to any and find Shawn Michaels, because there he is. What's he at? Not yet assigned. Did I look just at Raw when I said that? So he's got to be a main eventer. And let's just look. No brand. Any brand. Not yet assigned. Right, Gregory Helms on SmackDown. I think we've got to look at that. I think for now he's just going to be a mid-carder, of course. Pinky is me because I couldn't find the right thing. So Triple H, what do we do with Triple H? So you got Shawn Michaels, Batista, Ray and Orton on SmackDown, and then you've got Cena, Flair, Taker, and I think he needs to go to Raw for now. We'll keep DX apart and maybe do a big they come together at some point, but I think for now that makes sense. And if we have one last look at Monday Night Raw's main event with these buttons, oh, for God's sake, we'll get there. Main event, Monday Night Raw. You got the 5: Edge, Cena, Flair, Taker, and Triple H. Obviously, Flair is winding down as well, so that makes sense. SmackDown, Batista, Orton, Ray, and Shawn Michaels. And there might be upper mid-cards as we can move about. ECW, Bobby Lashley will need to be in there. They've got no main eventers at the moment, so we need to look at ECW for sure. Okay, right. Move back to Raw. Upper mid-carders. So Carlito, popularity of 54, for me, is not an upper mid-carder. I think he needs to be a mid-carder, which should change here. Around the Intercontinental title with a bit of a push. Charlie Haas, 56. Again, he's not. There's no way that he's an upper mid-carder. I cannot be having that. He's got to be a mid-carder, Charlie Haas. Ken Kennedy is an interesting one. A 60 popularity. I kind of do want to push him as an upper mid-carder, so I'm okay with that. King Booker, upper mid-carder, absolutely. On Raw. Mark Henry on Raw is an interesting one. Because, I mean, we are going to try and balance out them later, but do we want him on Raw? I think we do for now. Sabu, ECW, as an upper mid-carder. I mean, yeah, you've probably got to have to change some of the upper mid-carders. Maybe we'll change them back to main eventers. Santino is definitely not an upper mid-carder, is he? He is a mid-carder on Raw. And Val Venus, definitely not. I'd put him as a lower mid-carder, to be honest with you. 48 pop. No, thank you. It does mean that there are not a lot of Raw upper mid-carders, just 2 for some reason, which is a little bit weird. If we go to SmackDown then and have a look, and I've got a lot more. So Jeff Hardy's got to be moved back to Monday Night Raw, which will help that upper mid-card. I think he's someone we can build the Intercontinental scene around, Jeff, for now, and then maybe push him if you move him to SmackDown. He's got 2 titles at the moment, so that's got to change. Chris Benoit can stay on there. CM Punk will be moving to ECW, and I think an upper mid-card on ECW is a perfect fit for CM Punk. I've completely ballsed all that up, haven't I? Jesus Christ. I will get the hand of these clickings eventually if we put it back right. CM Punk, absolutely ECW for now, is where I think we can get some joy with him, particularly as he's in this position. Canada, he's not really known. England, not yet really known. We know what he can turn out to be though, because these skills are pretty good. I mean, they can be better, but they're pretty good for now. Kane on SmackDown as an upper mid-carder, I'm fine with. An MVP. Kane around MVP and Benoit makes sense to me. And then on ECW, this is where we're going to have to work it then, because there's going to be loads. Right, Bobby Lashley, upper mid-carder, absolutely. He had a better popularity than that, I thought originally. But a 60 pop we're gonna have to move him into the main event because he's someone we're gonna build around. But we have to build up. Yeah, they say up. We're gonna have to build him up big time. Chris Masters for me needs to be on Raw. Upper mid-carder, probably not, just a mid-carder. 54. Punk is an upper mid-carder, yes, that's fine. Now Matt Hardy is an interesting one. I kind of like him on SmackDown, and we could do that upper mid-card feud between him and MVP. I like that. 54s though, but hey ho. Now Van Dam, they've got no main eventers on ECW. We're gonna have to put him in the main event, aren't we? Interesting really. Sabu, upper mid-carder, he's fine. Now Big Show, 70 pop on ECW, that's main event, obviously looking at it now. And we're gonna have to use Big Show to get Bobby Lashley over and ready maybe for Umaga at WrestleMania. I think that's where we go with ECW, to be honest. William Regal for me is a Raw guy, an upper mid-carder on Raw that actually is going to get a push at some point. 61, we can make it work, but that should look better for ECW now. And into the mid-card we go for Monday Night Raw. Galito, Charlie Haas, Hardcore Holly, Jamie Noble. I mean, we'll have a look at it. Mark Henry, Mike Knox, Paul London. I like him on SmackDown. I think for now we'll put him on SmackDown. When we look at the tag teams in a moment, we'll have to have a proper look at it. But for now, he'll be on SmackDown. Santino, Shad Gaspard. So we need to get JTG and Shad Gaspard together as Crime Time, I think. Snitsky, Stevie Richards, and Sylvain Grenier. Okay, that's not too bad. I can handle that for a mid-card for Monday Night Raw. Probably needs a couple more faces, but we can make it work, I think. SmackDown's probably got a load. Right, so Balls Mahoney for me needs to be on ECW as a mid-carder. That's fine. ECW must have those. And Brian Kendrick and Paul London as the tag team that we build around, I think, is the future. Daivari is a heel on SmackDown. He's fine. Gregory Helms, heel on SmackDown. He's fine. Lance Cade, I kind of want to move him to Raw, but actually Trevor Murdoch's on SmackDown too. So maybe we do that and keep him on SmackDown for now. That's an option. Robert Conway, I don't know too much about, but he's a heel. And Boogeyman is a heel. We've got a lot of heels, not many faces. So we are going to have to sort of change that about as well. And if we put it onto ECW, Balls Mahoney, Chavo, I think might work on SmackDown. But again, he's another heel, which is a bit of a problem for us. I think we do put him on SmackDown anyway. Feud with Ray as well. That 2007 feud for them put Chavo into their next bit. Chuck Palumbo as a face on ECW. I'm not opposed to it. Elijah Burke is a heel. Yeah, Matt Striker is a wrestler. Is he? Oh, selling is 80. Consistency is 80. I think we can probably have to use him for now. Rene Dupree is a heel. Okay. Shelton Benjamin as a face on ECW. Now, he's someone that actually, if we stick them on SmackDown, has got a future there, I think. Great Khali and Sandman. So we need some more faces. We're going to have to turn some people, I think, in the mid-card, because it's lacking when we do it over. In the lower mid-card we go for Monday Night Raw. We're getting there. Now, Domino is well, he might have to be on Raw, actually, because we've got those two other tag teams, which is interesting. Little Guido, ECW, mate, for you, I'm afraid. And he is a heel. Domino is a heel, and Val Venus is a face. Raw is lacking in the lower mid-card, that's for sure. If we go to opener, we'll look at the women in a moment, but we'll just finish off this. So Eugene as an open, I think open is a bit mean for Eugene. What's his popularity? Of 17. Jesus, he's dropped. Johnny Nitro is someone I think should be a lot better on this. 25? Nitro and Mercury together on Raw in the mid-card, maybe. We'll put it lower mid-card for now, but as a tag team on Raw could be the future. Super Crazy. Oh, I think he's got to be ECW, hasn't he? I think that makes sense, and he could probably slot into the lower mid-card on ECW quite comfortably. So we will do that. And The Miz on Raw, I quite like The Miz on SmackDown for now. So we'll do that in the lower mid-card on SmackDown. I don't really want too many openers. Eugene I can handle, but you don't want too many. Into SmackDown we go then, and we'll look at the lower mid card again for them. Dave Taylor. See, I mean, we'll keep him there for now, but I kind of want to do it as a preparing to turn as an old school face type gimmick. Is the best way to do it. The fighting gimmick. It's probably the best way. Ace should be able to do it. I mean, if we look at his, we'll move that off the screen for a second. If we look at what Dave Taylor's good at, he's all right at a babyface. I think that's mean. I think he can do it. They reckon he shouldn't be able to do it. We can automatically use this one. So that'll do us, I think. If we select that, that's what he's going to be. We have to change it on a show, so maybe that's what Heat's for. But a lower face to be, I can handle it. Juice has got to go to Raw with Domino, I think, as a lower mid-carder, which is fine as a heel in that tag team. Jimmy Wang Yang can stay on SmackDown as a face. That's fine for me. He's got a decent bit of popularity for that lower level, so that's fine. And into the opener we go. We've done half an hour already. Funaki on SmackDown. So ECW must have a load of this, or is this not? Maybe 3 brands. It's going to be a struggle. So for the openers, you got Marcus Corvon. Yeah, it makes sense, but you may as well put him in the lower mid card because ECW hasn't got a lot of popularity as it is, and he's someone you might be able to build eventually on ECW. A lot of heels in this roster. Rory McAllister, right? They've got to go to Raw because we need the McAllisters on Raw as a tag team in the lower mid card. I think someone that Eminem can beat quite comfortably. He's got 30 pops, so definitely shouldn't be an opener. So I don't understand why, particularly on ECW. Lower mid card, right? So the Major Brothers. We've only got Brett Major. Maybe we send him back to OVW for now. That's Zack Ryder, of course, just to develop his overall skills a little bit more. Yep, send him back, absolutely. Kevin Thorne as a lower mid-carder heel on Raw. This is the vampire guy, of course, that makes sense. Guido, we moved there. Kavon. Right, McAllister's got to go to Raw. Kavon, I said Kavon, yeah. And then next we'll look at the women and then the tag teams and then start really booking Mania, and then that'll be the end of the episode. We may end up booking eventually. Shannon Moore, lower mid-carder on ECW, is fine. Super Crazy, fine. And Viscera, fine. I'm happy with that. So let's do the women. So who have Raw got and who have SmackDown got? So Raw have got Ashley, Jillian, Maria, Melina and Mickey. Quite a lot. Who have SmackDown got? I don't think we'll do any women on ECW, so they got Michelle McCool, Trinity and Victoria. So they've got, Michelle, no, she's nowhere near ready yet. Nowhere near ready. No pop at all. What's she even doing on the main roster? I think we send her back down to OVW for now. We might have to look at bringing in some women because the women division is pretty bad. Trinity, it's something, I guess. I don't know who she is, to be honest with you. Can she wrestle? She can. She's not bad. Victoria, we know of well. Victoria on the SmackDown roster is all we've got, so that's going to have to change. VCW got any we can take to there? They've got loads, right? So Brooke Adams, no pop, but as a valet, I think would be good. Sex appeal at 95, so she can build around that. Star quality she's got. We need to give her to somebody. She needs to manage somebody for sure. And I think we'll move her to SmackDown to do that, rather than ECW. That's fine. SmackDown. Oh, what am I doing? Right, let's change it back. Yeah, we'll put Brooke Adams. I think that she goes on to be something in TNA. I'm not too aware of it, but we will put her as a manager on SmackDown. She may not be happy. She may want to wrestle, but we'll see. So Candice Michelle can definitely go to SmackDown. She's someone that you can build as a babyface for now. Katie Lee Burchill. She's got a bit of pop in England, but that's about it. Is she ready for the main roster? Looking at her stats, she probably is, but yeah, what do you do? She's German. I didn't know that. Let's stick her on SmackDown. Give her some extra women to work with. Kelly, she can't be ready, and looking at that, no brawling. There's Kelly. I mean, do you have her as a wrestler at this point? Probably not. I'm going to stick her as a manager on Monday Night Raw and see what she can out with. Let's use the managers. Why not? Layla, no pop at all. She's going to have to go back to OVW for a little while. I think she's not ready. And that does leave us the issue of the women, that there's absolutely nothing. If we just put any brand, that's what we've got. We're going to have to build these up. That's a problem. That is a problem. Right, can we look at tag teams now? I think is the best way to go. I don't quite know how to do tag. It's got to be division, hasn't it, I guess. Tag team division on Raw. Oh, damn, that didn't work. Have we got any tag teams anywhere? Right, so that's not how you do it. We are going to have to look at figuring this bit out. Any disposition? That's not really what I want. Gimmicks. I'm looking for a tag teamer. Right, we're going to have to do it and just go through them. So Raw-wise, what have Raw got for the tag teams? Which are going to run on both brands, I think. Oh God, what am I doing? What have I done? Action. Any division. There we go. Right, so Raw for a tag team. Like, this is the problem as well. Look, we've got to go through the managers as well, because Armando Alejandro Estrada has to be a manager on ECW to manage Umaga. We're going to have to look at these. I'll probably do these off camera for now. In terms of the tag teams then, see, Charlie Hash you could probably put up together with Shelton on SmackDown. That's an interesting option. So you got Juice and Domino, who, I mean, together aren't fantastic, but they are the current WWE Tag Team Champions on Raw. That's fine. We can make that work for now. So Jeff and Matt on the same brand, so that won't be. Johnny Nitro, and we kind of need Joey Mercury. Where's Joey Mercury? Where is he? I mean, he's got to be here somewhere. Joey Mercury. I don't know what his actual proper name was. Joey Mercury. Let's have a look. I'm using my phone to have a look. Joey Mercury, Adam Birch, or Joey Matthews. That's got to be him, right? That's got to be him that I'm on, ironically. Friends with Jeff and Matt. That's got to be him, right? Joey Matthews. If we change his... I kind of want to change his thing. I can't change it there. Maybe when we sign him we can. Strong friendship with Batista as well. That's got to be him. We've got to bring him in, I'm afraid. Joey Matthews is going to be a big part of the Raw brand for now, so that will be brought in. Batista's happy with it, Matt Hardy's happy with it, Shannon Moore's happy with it, Punk's happy with it, Jeff's happy with it, Mickey James is happy. Mickey James is with him by the looks of it, so that's quite cool. So we will bring him in, valued around 2,000. 3-year deal, unlimited appearance fee, whatever is needed. Push will be normal. You'll be available for all the shows. Has he got any? He's got no other companies around him. So let's see if he'll be happy with that. See if he comes in. But he's going to be a tag team on Raw and someone we can actually use big time. Popularity wise, what's he at? He's going to need building. It's a problem. It is a problem. Let's go back to our roster. So yeah, so you've got Juice and Domino as heels. Eminem as heels. Anybody else there? I mean, I'm just looking at everyone at the moment. Let's put it back to Raw. Juice and Domino, Eminem. I mean, there's not. You got the McAllisters. That's the what's the name of their tag team? I bet it's already on here actually. Tag teams. Let's have a look. Yeah, Brothers of Destruction, not really going to be used much. Crime Time are definitely going to be used. Where's JTG? Where's JTG? Where is he? Is he in OVW maybe? He's not. Where's JTG? He's there. He's an enhancement talent. I've not looked at enhancement talents, have I? So we've got to stick him wherever Shad is, and I think that's on Raw. we'll do that as a lower mid card. Crime Time could be someone quite cool to have actually in the tag division. Kind of need to look at lower mid carders, don't we? Enhancement talent people. Oh, that's a problem. I've not even thought about. Right. Okay. Yeah. So, Brothers of Destruction and Crime Time, Juice and Jomino, Guerrero and Helms. That's interesting on SmackDown. I won't be opposed to that. That could work. London and Kendrick. I want to build around. These are the good guys to build around. Nitro and Kenny Dykstra. No, I don't think so. Redneck Wreck. Yes. Cade and Murdoch. Perfect. Hardy Boys is something we could look at long term. Highlanders is who I was thinking of. Maybe we do that as well as a face tag team. Because if you were to do that, you've got. Oh god, a wasp has just flown in. Oh, this is bad. Fly back out. It's gone. Right. I mean, if you were to look at it in terms of just a tag team division on both, you've got possible face, heel, face, heel, face, and then M&M coming in could work actually. So maybe we add a new team. So it'll be M&M. And for now, it'll just be Johnny Nitro. For now. Alright, we've got to do it when he comes in, really, haven't we? That's alright for a tag team division, then. Right, I'm fairly confident at the moment that we're good. We kind of do need to look at the openers across all brands, really. Did we do ECW's lower mid-card? I think we did. Yeah, we did. Definitely did. Right. Okay, so all brands, and let's look at the enhancement talent people. So we didn't look at them, didn't even think about them. So Brian Major, there he is, Brian Major. Now, do we bring in the Edgeheads? I don't think we do yet. I think we've got enough actually that we can look at bringing them in. Idol Stevens, which of course goes on to be Damien Sandow, he's not ready. He is not ready. Let's try it again. Yes, he's gone. Did we send Major back? I think we did, didn't we? We didn't. Try again. Yes. And Kenny Dykstra. He's got no pop. He's not quite ready. Let's put him back in OVW for now. And I think we're all right in terms of roster rise. We're 42 minutes at the moment. So I think now what we need to look at is what we're going to do for WrestleMania. These are the top 5 stars apparently. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Taker, Ric Flair and Edge. Before we quite do that, we need to make sure that all the rosters are quite balanced. So let's do that now. So Monday Night Raw, you got a lot of people there. Is this just active wrestlers, please? Any in-ring bush? Right, okay, that's better. Right, so that's a good amount. I'm happy with that. SmackDown. Again, a pretty good amount. Probably could do with 1 or 2 more. We could have a look what's out there as well. ECW is smaller, but ECW is an hour show, so that makes sense. I mean, just looking at ECW now, Bobby Lashley, Umaga is their main match for WrestleMania. Backed up maybe by CM Punk. Maybe against Big Show. I'm not sure if it would work, but a big man, little man, maybe really to push Punk again. Or Van Dam as well. You've got to look at Van Dam. There's options. Good. SmackDown wise, Batista's the world champion and he will be going into Mania. I'm fine with that. It depends on who you want him to face. There's Randy Orton. Pop wise 78. It's lacking. Do you go with Shawn Michaels? Face v face, Batista versus Shawn Michaels, I think is an option for us. Really put over Batista big time. And then you could do maybe Randy Orton, possibly Rey Mysterio to WrestleMania. That's an option. I think there are options on this card for sure. I think Raw's our strongest brand though at the moment. Definitely, because you've got a lot of options for Raw. You've got at least 2 big matches. And I think we probably do go with John Cena and Edge for WrestleMania for the WWE Championship in the main event. Those two, put them over strong with the big guys. The Undertaker can wrestle a heel. The Undertaker against maybe Kennedy. It's 60 pop though. Booker, maybe. Might work. William Regal, if you want to push him. Options there, that's for sure. And you kind of need to have Triple H in there as well. Top 3 for them. There are options. So let's do this. Let's look at a tentative WrestleMania card. And I think, first of all, WWE Championship, John Cena. I don't know if this keyboard's going to be loud. John Cena defending against Edge. I don't think we put Edge, the title, on him just yet, but that's the main event, and I'm fine with that. World Heavyweight title, I think you got to go Batista. I'm going to go with Shawn, I think, at the moment. I think that works. Batista and Shawn Michaels. ECW title, and I want to put ECW as a big title now. Bobby Lashley versus Umaga. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Right, backing that up, you got your IC title we haven't looked at yet. Who could Jeff Hardy face? Well, actually, unless you really want to put Jeff into the next sort of level on Raw, which is possible. So if we put in Monday Night Raw and look at I'm looking for this upper mid carders. So you could do Jeff versus Kennedy. I think might be the way to go. 60, 65. I'm happy with Jeff versus Kennedy. Oh, I had a notepad. Where'd it go? Oh, don't tell me I wrote it again. I didn't save it. I just press close. Try again. WWE title. John Cena defends against Edge. That's it. World Heavyweight title. Batista defends. This may get really loud with me now. I don't know. Against HBK. ECW. Lashley versus Umaga. I'm fine with that. Backing that up, you're going to have Taker versus somebody on the Raw heels. I quite like the idea of doing Taker versus Regal, but I don't know. I'm going to put a question mark by it. And in terms of, so that's Raw. And then Triple H as well against a heel that Triple H can face. That's maybe King Booker. One thing I do want to do, IC title, Jeff Hardy versus Mr. Kennedy. Absolutely. And that's probably the top stars for Raw at least. SmackDown, you haven't really looked at, but you got Randy Orton in there, and maybe Orton versus Ray might be the way to go. I think that's probably a good option. SmackDown's US title for me needs to be MVP defending. It's probably successfully actually. I don't think I want to change too many of the title holds at the moment. Against Chris Benoit, you'll get a good match out of him. Maybe 2 out of 3 falls might be a good move for them. I do need to put champions on there. We do need to get the tag titles on the card, and I'm going to unify the titles. I think it just depends on who's got them. So we're going to go with London and Kendrick for sure. We need a heel tag team for them to face, which could be Juice and Domino. Probably not. You've also got Eminem if we build them, but that might be an after WrestleMania sort of thing. And the women's title, I mean, who knows at this point? There needs to be others. We did look at, I think we said Punk and Show could work. I like that. And in terms of what else is on SmackDown, anybody else on SmackDown that should definitely be on WrestleMania is the thing. So you'd want your upper mid-carders really that you'd be looking at. Matt Hardy is an interesting one. What do you do with Matt at WrestleMania? I don't know what you can do with him, to be honest with you. Anybody there that he should be feuding with? Not really. I mean, Shelton, he's a mid-carder on Let's move Shelton to Raw with Charlie Haas, I think, is the best way to go. I don't know. I mean, we could do Caden Murdoch against them. There's a lot of options. Please tell me. Oh, I didn't save it again. What is wrong with me? I'm not doing it anymore. You can see the options we've got, though, can't you? I think we've got a lot of options. But we're at 50 minutes in this and we've just looked at the roster and that's it. You see why this will be edited down for the next sort of ones. So I think we need to call it there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. We're on the road to the Royal Rumble. In terms of our schedule, here we are, week 4 of the Royal Rumble we've got to get to. And I think the next episode will just be the first 2 weeks of shows, and then we'll look again to the Royal Rumble, I think is where we go. Heat for now will stay, but Raw, ECW, SmackDown is where we go. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace.